Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the cause of the Skirball fire has been identified as a homeless camp, a cooking fire that got out of control, ended up burning 6 homes in Bel Air and causing millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of property damage. Another example of the enormous problems that we're facing in this tale of two-city state known as California, where we have the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor. And all of these problems have been exacerbated by Props 57 and 47 and AB 109. And joining us right now to talk about the latest is the president of the Association of Los Angeles Deputy District Attorneys. Welcome back to the show, Michele Hanisee. Michele, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Good morning.
Thanks for being with us. You put out, your organization put out a press release that puts names and biographies to the reality of what's going on with Prop 57. These are case studies of individuals who have been released prematurely because of these ballot measures and the destructive path that they've left in their wake since their release. Can we go through a couple of these?
Absolutely. And just so you know, these are directly based on the letters given by the parole board to the district attorney, which I obtained through a Public Records Act request.
Paul Carl Anderson, a criminal history that begins in 1981. That's 3.5 decades now. Yes,
criminal history that includes grand theft and federal armed bank robbery.
And why is it that they decided that this guy was should be released early?
They said he qualified as a nonviolent offender, yet the offense that they describe him committing is that he robbed a bank with a weapon, was tracked down to a motel by federal marshals. He kicked in the door to the adjoining room and held some poor innocent motel resident hostage with his knife until the marshals captured him. So this is apparently what our parole board thinks is a nonviolent offense.
Rodney Hansen.
Rodney had been dating a young woman, and apparently she broke up with him or was trying to break up with him and told him to leave her presence. And he got a kitchen knife, threw it at her feet, and said he would kill her and himself. He's got first-degree burglary, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a firearm by a felon, numerous other prior offenses.
Back out on the streets, Paul Silvas.
Yeah, Paul Silva stabbed the family dog to death while telling the police that the devil wanted him to kill the dog. He was on parole at the time of that offense. And he has, again, prior convictions, one for assault with a firearm and another for vehicle theft.
How can they possibly construct some logic that these are nonviolent offenses?
I'm baffled. I'm as baffled as you are, and this is just a sample of them. Here's another one, a gentleman named Xavier Sarabia. It says, and this is the parole board's letter, Mr. Sarabia attempted to steal a motor vehicle from another by brandishing a knife and demanding that the victim surrender his motor vehicle. That's attempted carjacking with a weapon. And they said he used a weapon, and again, Mr. Sarabia was on parole, and he has an extensive criminal history. But the letter says right at the top, recommendation to release approved. They approved his release, so apparently these guys should all be out by now.
There's a guy named Ricole Mitchell who threatened to kill his mom in 2015.
Yeah.
Well, we got to have him on the street. Definitely. You want him as a neighbor.
Well, not only did he kill his mom, when he was detained by police, he had a loaded firearm with him. So, he had the means to kill her, or the police, if that's the direction he wanted to take. He also was on probation at the time and had a prior, his conviction that he was on probation for was criminal threats, which is a threat to cause great bodily injury or death to another person.
We're talking about Michele Hanisee, who's the president of the Association of Los Angeles Deputy District Attorneys. The website is LAADDA.com. And we're not telling these stories just anecdotally because, a lot of times these crimes, the defenders of this nonsense will write it off as just, storytelling. But at what point does it become data? And that's really where we're at. And where we're at is raising awareness for the Reducing Crime and Keeping California Safe Act of 2018, which would be a ballot measure that would undo the damage done by Prop 57 and 47.
Absolutely, and this is the one to look out for when you're going to your local market and people are gathering signatures, because this is the one that will roll back some of the unintentional harms caused by these various ballot initiatives and bills.
Well, we will obviously be covering this extensively when we get after the turn of the year. But, folks, the only way we can fix this problem is by doing it at the ballot box, because, unfortunately, the damage was done at the ballot box with essentially bait and switch, with politicians really flat out misrepresenting. I'm trying not to use the L word, lie, but the public was lied to about what Prop 57 was going to do, and 47 as well. We know what it is doing, and the only way to undo it is to go to the polls and support the Reducing Crime and Keeping California Safe Act of 2018. Otherwise, we're just going to have more of this madness next year and beyond.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that. And the website is keepcaliforniasafe.org, not .com, .org, Keep California Safe.
Michele, thanks so much for coming on with us. Have a great Christmas, holiday season, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Knock yourself out.
Absolutely. You guys do the same.